Hey, fellow fanatics, welcome to another day of Fanatic the Real broadcast special editions as we are doing the final remaining three remaining final draft selection shows for the South Atlantic Dragons, the Gulf Coast Serpents, and the still to be named West. We are going to start off with our first one, the South Atlantic Dragons, in about 20 seconds. Hey, fellow fanatics, happy Sunday to you all, and welcome to day 2 of the draft selection shows here at Fantasy Sports Alliance. Brain is still not engaged yet this morning. Got to get me a sip of Monster here to recharge as we get ready to go. How is everybody on this Sunday? MJ on with us. MJ part of the South Atlantic region, as am I, so I'm definitely looking forward to getting this concluded today so I could start doing some mock drafting, even maybe as early as tonight after we get all of these done today. Of course, our first one is happening here at noon with the South Atlantic Dragons. Our next one is going to be at 3 p.m. East Coast time with the Gulf Coast Serpents. And then this evening at 6 p.m. East Coast time, we will be doing the West. Still looking for a nickname out of those guys. A temporary one for the year as we kind of have a hodgepodge of regions mixed into the West this year. Ted Howard says no snake eyes today. Ted Howard also a part of this South Atlantic draft selection show with the Land Sharks. How is everybody? Anybody have any hangovers from yesterday? Hangovers from the draft selection shows? Hangovers from possibly drinking last night? Heather Newman on with us as well. Georgia She-Devils are in the house. Man, we've got a lot of people here from the South Atlantic region. Let's see, who are we still missing? Sean Purcell should be on here pretty soon. Eric's here with us. Eric Figueroa is on here. He is one of our newest members here in the South Atlantic region. He is here. Beast Mode checking in. In fact, you're going to be our, I think you lead off this parade of teams for us today, Eric. Let's see who else is out there before we get started. Looking possibly for Kalunga Clan coming on, Bruce Nakamoto to be here, Jared Ryan maybe to check in. Maria might be out there, I'm not sure. I think she's celebrating a birthday party today, so I'm not sure if she's going to make it or not. I know my wife is running around the house like crazy, so I don't know if Misty will duck her head in here or not. Ricky/Rocky Bird might be showing up just a little bit later. Hey, how are you, Chelsea? Let's see, it's party in the South Atlantic. Maria is here. Sean is here. Holy crap, the whole gang is almost all here. All right, let's get to these parade of teams. All right, first team that we have up is Beast Mode. Like I said, Eric Figueroa. Eric, I think you and I found each other because you actually run a page on Facebook to help people who are looking for fantasy football leagues to get into, correct? And that's how you and I found each other. I think we had put a post out there, or you had reached out to me and asked me about the league or whatever, and we had a little bit of dialogue back and forth, and you joined. So one of the rookies in this year for the South Atlantic. So Eric, welcome. Love the logo, by the way. One of my favorite logos of all of the logos this year across all of the Alliance. Next up, we got the Kalunga Clan and Pedro Kalunga. Kalunga was a soldier of mine when I first got here to Fort Gordon last year. I have moved positions, and he is no longer a soldier under me. I believe he is getting ready to retire as well, and this will be his second year in the league. He was really a big force to reckon with last year. Stayed number 1, or at least in the top 3 in the power rankings pretty much all year, and it came down to the last 2 games of the year. The one of them being the last week of the regular season, and then the first round of the regional championship games, where he lost both of those games to the Southern Sirens and MJ Cooley, and then he was eliminated from and went on to play in a bowl game, and I believe he actually might have even lost that bowl game as well. However, still a great fantasy football mind. We're lucky to have him back. Another one of my former soldiers from my first job when I got here at Fort Gordon, me, Kalunga, and this guy, Bruce Nakamoto, worked together. Bruce is no longer at Fort Gordon. He has decided to take a recruiting position, and he is now in Florida. So he remained in the region with us. Last year, his team name was the Broncos, big Denver Broncos fan. This year, he decided to change his name to the E-Thugs, and this is part of his new logo. If you would like, his banner is out there on the website. You can go see what the full logo looks like. It's 3 buttons that say Control, Alt, and Delete on them. So really great logo that we ended up putting together. Another one of our new members this year, and she's on right now, Heather Newman, on with us with the Georgia She-Devils. I'm not even sure how Heather found us, I'm not going to lie. There's 2 people that are in this league, in this region, that somehow, because they're local, was able to find FSA. Heather's one of them, and Maria being the other one. I'm not sure. Grateful that you both found us. I'm still not sure that happened, but thank you very much for joining the league this year. Heather, usually a huge college football fan. This is her first time ever playing fantasy football, as it is with Maria as well. So this is going to be interesting first year for the both of them. Well, welcome, Heather. Appreciate it. Ricky/Rocky Bird is back for his second season with us. Great brand here with his team with the Greenbacks. In fact, I got one of his hats sitting around here in the house. Really, really good player. Also, last year was his first year playing fantasy football, but he caught on really, really quick. This guy's a beautiful football mind. Not only does he follow the NFL, but he follows European football leagues, Canadian football leagues. There isn't a league that and German football leagues, there isn't a league out there you can't ask him something about that he doesn't know something. The Mexican football leagues, everything. This guy knows all of the leagues that are out there. So great football mind. We're lucky to have him back again this year as well. Then we got Ted Howard out there with the Land Sharks. I think this is the second year in a row that you've been the Land Sharks now. I think the first year was the Pirates. Maybe you did the Pirates for a couple of years. Ted and I go way, way back to, was that Afghanistan? Or was that the second Iraq? I guess it was probably Afghanistan. Where Ted Howard was Captain Howard, and he was my company commander back then. And he actually ran a fantasy football league for us that year while we were deployed, and all of us that were deployed played in it. And I'm really happy whenever he decided to come back a couple of years ago, came and wanted to play with us in our league. Happy to have him. Also a great fantasy football mind. I say Captain Howard now, but I'm pretty sure it's Lieutenant Colonel Howard now, right, sir? Let me know. I think we were invited to the promotion, but were unable to make it last year because I think we were up in Ohio visiting family at that time. Right around Thanksgiving or so, I think. So we were already up in Ohio. So welcome. Another rookie with us. This is a soldier who is mine now, Jared Ryan. His team name is the Luminaries. I hope I'm saying that right. When I reached out, Lieutenant Colonel, appreciate that. When we reached out, I reached out in my chat group that I have there at work to see if anybody wanted to jump on fantasy football this year, and Sergeant Ryan, Jared Ryan, said he wanted to jump on. So we put this logo together for him. Turned out really, really well. And even although a rookie, not his first time playing fantasy football, so he will be very, very fun to play against this year. We are still working on getting a logo for Maria. I know you can't hardly see her name right there. Let's see if I can, if I bring her down into the light a little bit. Oops, that is not the part that we wanted to move. We want this part to move. There we go. Maria's name's still hard to see. Okay, so Ryan, that is you out there on Chelsea's Facebook page, because I know I don't think you have one of your own. See if you can break it down phonetically for me in the chat message so I know how to say this thing from now on. So Maria, brand new to fantasy football as well. Also another one of the locals around here in Grovetown, Augusta area that found us. Lucky to have her. We are still working on her brand. She has given me a couple ideas. Hopefully we'll be able to work through that sometime today and get her something before the season starts. I'm up next. We're not going to even talk about me. We're going to skip on by me. We're going to go straight down to the Naughty Dogs. Naughty Dogs, Sean Purcell. Sean, this is your second year playing with us. Sean, on the west side of the state of Georgia, found us in that same chat group that I said we talked about with a lot of the group from the Great Lakes yesterday. Brian Lewis and let's see who else was that. Jason Norris, Todd Spencer, those guys all in that same chat group. Put together a great logo for Sean here as a former Navy guy and a Georgia fan. We put that all together. Wanted this special colors on this. Put together also some branding for him in different uniforms, depending on if it's a home away, color rush, or in a bowl game uniform. All of that turned out really, really well. Sean spent probably, about close to $200 on gear. for the Naughty Dogs, and I also am lucky enough to have a hat of his. Sean had a really good year last year. I think he just missed the playoffs last year, and I think that was because I eliminated you in the game that you came over to this side of the state to visit. You, me, and MJ all hung out. We got Kalunga and his family to go over there and do that as well, and I think that was the game that actually probably took you out of the playoffs. Let's see. Speaking of MJ, Southern Sirens, also the owner of Southern Siren Sugar Scrub, one of our sponsors this year. I'm getting a message from Armando Gutierrez saying he thought he had already done that. Let me try again. Hey, what he's talking about is I hit some of you up with text messages, personal emails, and stuff like that last night. We still have 8 people that have yet to sign in to this year's redraft league over on MFL, and we have 5 from the Arm and Leg League. So if you're getting invites from either one of those and you have not clicked on the link to come into the league, please do that, especially on the Arm and Leg side, because we are going to do their draft selection show on Wednesday during the broadcast. And don't forget, we will be on air at 8 o'clock this Wednesday instead of 8:30, 30 minutes earlier, so we can get the show in, and then we can do their draft selection shows just like we're doing here. But we need to be able to break those 2 groups up into 2 regions of 12, and we don't know how to split that right now, as we're still waiting on other members to come on board or to sign in for it. So let's see who we got. Southern Siren Sugar Sub. So last year, MJ ended up beating Kalunga in the last 2 games, the last game of the regular season and the first game of the playoffs, to put her in as the regional champion. And then she went on, and MJ, I think you were eliminated in the first round of the big tournament, but I think that was my fault because of me and what I had you do with your lineup, I think. So MJ, in her first year last year, was also vying for Rookie of the Year, one of the last ones that was in the voting process for it. Great football mind, lucky to have her back. And last but not least, the Unicorn Legends and my wife, Misty. She is back with us again this year. I am glad that we are only playing all of the teams inside our regions once, because I think in the 6 or 7 years that we've played against each other, and I think in most of those years we've played each other twice, I think I maybe have only beat her 1 or 2 times. So I'm glad I only have to play her again once. Also a great football mind, even though she is under the radar when she does it, showing up to a live draft that we had in Texas, which I thought she was unprepared for. Brings in a fantasy football book that I didn't even know she had bought, with a whole bunch of mock draft lists in there. She was ready to go and dominated. Had a really good year that year. MJ says she was eliminated by Matt. So that was Matt Kroll. Matt ended up going to runner-up, I think, in the entire thing last year. I know he ended up being general manager of the year, but I don't remember if he finished second place or not. All right, so that is the parade of teams. Let's get that 25th anniversary Walter the Wizard hat out. Let's get these team names folded up in half and put in the hat. For those who have never seen this before, what we're going to end up doing is we are going to pull a name out of the hat. We are going to roll the 12-sided dice. That's what you see on the right-hand side of the screen there in the middle. That 12-sided dice roll will put whatever team we pull out of the hat on the board in that position. After that, we will roll the 2 6-sided dice that you see on the left-hand side. That's our action dice. Those action dice, that total will correspond to that list of numbers that you see under me right there. And that is what will happen to the board based on whatever number that we end up rolling. If you've never seen it before, and in fact, it did not happen yesterday. We did not have a single snake eyes yesterday. What happens with the snake eyes is we take everything off the board as if it never happened. And then if right now, with the way it's set with a start over and lock team, that was a new rule set that we came up with after it happened twice in the Alpha Defunct Dynasty draft selection this year. Brian Lewis on with us, I think, or at least he's out there on GroupMe right now. Today is Brian Lewis's birthday, so happy birthday, Brian, if you're out there watching. It was actually his idea to come up with, instead of Every time we get snake eyes starting over, after the snake eyes happens one time, then every time we roll snake eyes after that, we lock somebody on the board. That is the same thing as what you see there in number 11, which is lock a team. We got asked just before we came live today, what happens if we have teams locked and then you get the snake eyes? Do they come off the board? No, they do not. Once you are locked, you are stuck to that board. Even with a snake eyes, you will remain on the board. What does Sean say? Sean says, clear the board right before you finish. Yeah, we do not want to have a Delta Dynasty draft selection show like we did where our final roll ends up being the snake eyes. And that being said, with the final roll, what happens is once we have all of the teams on the board, there is one more roll that is done. And what happened in the Delta Dynasty draft selection show this year was we had the board full. We had not had a snake eyes to that point. Our last roll, which we thought was going to end the whole thing, actually ended up being snake eyes. We pulled all the teams off the board and started over. It was like that 40-some minutes leading up to that point never even happened.
1 hour later.
Man, I missed out on taking Sean off the board, and that's what caused all of this. Sorry, Alliance. Let's shake up and get a team out of here. I think Snake Eyes should be back relevant again. I think if we get a Snake Eyes, we pull everybody off the board again. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could probably get Brandon to cut us right to this 40-some minute mark right here and pretend like we're starting right now. Ted. Land Sharks. Going to put you in the number 2 spot. People say we're going to do it as a lock. I'm cool with doing it as a lock. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we have 3 hours for the time, but let's consider the time consideration here as well. We're going to probably lose people on the live, but I will be able to get Brandon to edit this. We're at about the 40-some minute mark. I'll watch the video and let him know where we're at. What we'll end up doing is we'll have him do the intro, and then we'll go right to this point of the video. For those of you that are seeing the edited version of this, we had an issue where one of the teams that was supposed to be swapped and pulled off the board did not get put back into the hat. We didn't realize that until we were pulling the last name out of the hat, and there was two empty spots still left on the draft board. As a region, we have decided to start completely over. However, since this is basically our third restart because of Snake Eyes and this mix-up that we found out about, we are going to use Snake Eyes as a lock and not as to pull everybody off the board. So we got our first team up on the board for our third time, which, Damien, you are right, third time is a charm. We'll roll some action dice now that we got the Land Sharks up on the board. Number 7 means we're going to roll a D12, put a team on the board. It's a possibility, since we're not dropping any frames either, that Brandon's just going to let this roll. Probably be easier just to post it for everybody to see the craziness that happened during this one. Rocky, we're going to put you back on the board. Greenbacks, we're going to put you in the number 7 spot. Let's roll the action dice. Number 6. Going to swap positions with the 2D12. We'll see if that affects anybody on the board right now. A number 1 and another 9. Number 9, nobody is on the board. We will roll the action dice. Number 7, roll a D12 and put somebody on the board. People want to see the Snake Eyes. You are the people. Unicorn Legends. Misty, we're going to roll a D12 until we get you on the board. Number 3. Put the Unicorn Legends up there at number 3. And we're going to roll the action dice. Number 4, we're going to move everybody up or down 1 position based on an odd or an even roll. It is an odd, which means everybody is moving up 1 position. Land Sharks to number 1. Unicorn Legends to number 2. Greenbacks to number 6. We're going to roll the action dice. Number 8, we're going to roll a D12 until we get somebody on the board. Ted says, shut your mouth. Maria, we're going to get you back up on the board. Let's see what spot we're putting you in. Put you in the number 11. 11. If you haven't seen the skit about the 11, it's pretty funny. Go out there and do 11, I think, elevator. If you put that word with it, you'll come across it. Great British skit as the guys are trying to get into an English recognizing elevator, or I guess an American accent English elevator, and the British guys that are in the elevator are trying to say 11 so they can go to the 11th floor, and it's hilarious. Let's do a number 8 where we're going to roll a d12 and put somebody on the board. Ted says lock the one. Oh, Ted wants everybody to lock now. Now he wants Snake Eyes for the lock. I think we might do Snake Eyes to clear the board. I don't know. What do you think? Kalunga Clan going into the number 1 spot, already occupied. Kalunga going into the number 7 spot. You know what could make this really fun is what if every single one of these ones, if we rolled a number that a person's already in, they came off the board. First off, I think that would add a lot of time to it, so maybe not such a good thing. And I would have to remember to make sure that I pull the team off the board like I just forgot to do with the Naughty Dogs. But it could be fun watching everybody flip-flop off that board all the time, always keeping a spot open, especially as the board gets more and more full. You talk about never knowing where you're going to draft from until the dice stop rolling. That would definitely be a perfect example of it. We are going to roll a 10, doing exactly that right now. If one of these spots, or one of these, the dice roll from the 12 is a 1, 2, 6, or 7, or 11, Maria down there in 11, that person will be replaced by myself, the Monarchs, if I roll one of those spots. If not, I will just go into one of the empty spots. I will be sliding into the number 12. I'm starting to get flashbacks to last year, some of the dynasties where I was picking from the last spot in all of the drafts last year. Let's roll some action dice. Derrick Henry, a lock at number 1. Yeah, we know Ted loves Derrick Henry this year. Number 7, roll a d12 until a spot opens up. So spots that we have left are 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. So half the board is full. We will be putting Jared in the Lumiere into the number 1 spot. It is already full, so we will be re-rolling. Number 6 spot already full. Number 1 again. Number 10, Lumiere going into the number 10 spot. And let's roll some action dice. 7, we are going to roll a d12 until a spot is open. No, this is a straight serpentine. We will not be doing the 3rd round reversal like we did with the dynasties. This will just be a straight serpentine. Sean, Naughty Dogs. Kind of the cause of all of this mess in the first place. Actually, my fault, but because of this team. We are putting you in the number 11. We cannot put you there. Maria is already there. We can put you in the number 8 spot, though. Naughty Dogs in the number 8 spot. We got 4 spots left open on the board. Let's go to the action dice. 8. D12 until a spot opens up. We have 4 spots remaining. Hopefully we have 4 teams still left in here. We are putting E-Thugs, Bruce Nakamoto, on the board. Bruce is going to go into the not number 2 spot. We will be putting him into the number 5 spot. Action dice. 5. D12 until a spot is opened up. We got the 3, 4, and 9. The teams that are still in here, I think Beast Mode, She-Devils, and Southern Sirens, I think, are still in here. She-Devils. Heather Newman. Heather, you're going to end up in the 3, 4, or 9. We're going to keep rolling so one of those numbers comes up. 3, 4, or 9. 3, 4, or 9. That would be a 6. Another 6. 3, 4, or 9. Ooh, almost rolled over to the 4 there. 5. Another 6. There we go. Number 9. We are going to put the She-Devils in number 9. I might take Chubb at 1 before he's taken it 3. Sean says Chubb will be his at 8. Let's roll some action dice. 2 spots left open. Number 6 means we are going to swap positions with 2d12. Let's add a second 12-sided die in there. And we roll 6 and a 2. Greenbacks and the Unicorn Legends are swapping positions. Greenbacks at the number 12. Or at the number 2, I'm sorry. Let's roll some action dice. 6. Swap teams again with 2d12. Swapping the 8 and the 11. Naughty Dogs, you are moving down. Maria, you are moving up. Action dice. Number 9, we are doing that again. Swapping teams' positions. We are swapping the number 10 and the number 5. Lumiere is going right back up into the number 5 spot where he was at before we had to take him off the board, and the E-Thugs are going down to number 10. Roll some action dice. 12. We are flipping the whole board. Nobody is locked on the board, so everybody is going to go into a new position. That means Ted Howard down to 12. The Monarchs to number 1. Naughty Dogs from 11 to 2. And the Greenbacks go down. Number 10 goes to number 3. Number 9 goes to number 4. Lumiere and Maria swap between the 5 and the 8. And the Kalunga Clan and the Unicorn Legends swap for 7 and 6. And Ted is now in the number 12 spot, and he's not liking that, I'm guessing. Let's roll some action dice. Man, we haven't had to pull a team out of a hat in just a little bit here. 8. We are going to roll a d12 until a spot is open. Only the 9 and the 10 are left open. Only Beast Mode and Southern Sirens left in here. Beast Mode, Eric Figueroa. Pulling you out. 1 12-sided die. We got to roll a 9 or a 10 to put you on the board. 10 came up real quick. Beast Mode on the board. So what happens is if we get another one of those, roll until the board is full, or roll until a spot is open. We know Southern Sirens is still in there. She will take that number 9 spot, and then we will roll the die one more time. Let's roll the action dice now. We are getting a number 6, which means we're going to be swapping 2 positions with the 2d12. We're swapping the 9 and the 11. So Greenbacks are now moving up to the number 9 spot, and now the 11 spot is open. Let's roll the action dice. Action dice say 5. We're going to roll a d12 until a spot is open. That means, MJ, you are going into the number 11 spot, and then we will roll the die one more time. All right, let's take the vote right now in case we end up with snake eyes. Are we pulling from the whole board, or are we going to leave it as is? We'll take this to a vote before we move forward with this last roll, because we know exactly what happened in the Delta Dynasty Draft Selection Show. We know it's entirely possible right here as well. You all let me know. Ted says pull the whole board. That's because you're in 12. You don't like it. Sean says lock the board. That's because he's in number 2 and he likes it. Rocky says pull the board. He's in 9. Yeah, and Kalunga Clan's in front of you again. Wasn't he in front of you? Oh, that's right. He was in front of you during the draft last year, and you got mad. This is Misty saying this. You got mad because he was taking a full amount of time to make every one of his picks. All right, we're getting... I think the most people are saying pull from the board. The only one that's not is Sean saying lock, but I know he is in a spot. And me, even in the number one spot, I'm okay with pulling from the board. Heather says she would like to stay at number 4. Yeah, he would take so long for every pick. So let's hope that this last roll here, Misty, does something for you so he's not in front of you anymore. All right, so here's what we're going to do. If it's Snake Eyes, we're going to pull the whole board. We're 1 hour in. We still got 2 hours to go before this time block is done. We'll pull from the board. Let's see what happens. Number 11 means we're going to lock a team. That means the board is locked as is anyways. MJ says, are you not seeing my messages? Yeah, she says, yep, pull from the board. I saw it, MJ. It's a new round. Sean says, pull from the board would be fun. We already saw what it is. So right now, this is the draft order where we're at. I apologize to everybody from the craziness that happened, especially for those that were comfortable in the spots they were in before we had to pull the board. I'm glad that we basically said, let's start it all over like it never ever happened. Misty's still not happy because she's behind Kalunga in the draft. Ted says, it froze. I'm not sure what you mean, froze. Did the broadcast freeze for you? It looks like we're good on this side. I'm seeing everybody's messages. So this is, in fact, the draft order. Monarchs number 1, Naughty Dogs 2, E-Thugs 3, She-Devils 4, Maria is number 5, Kalunga Clan 6, Unicorn Legend 7, Lumiere is number 8, Greenbacks number 9, the Beast Mode number 10, Southern Sirens 11, and Ted on the churn at number 12. Now, it does look suspicious now that I'm in the number 1 spot. Yeah, well, I don't know if I really would want it because I can't remember any of the years where I had the number 1 spot where it was actually beneficial to me. The very first year we did the 2 quarterback league, Peyton Manning was still in the league, and I thought it would be best to go with Drew Brees instead, and did not have a good year because of that pick. Number 1 is never a good pick. I would have much rather been at like 2 or 3 where Sean and Bruce are, because I would have seen the couple of people that are already gone ahead of me. It would have made it easier for me to pick what's left at 2 or 3 than for me to pick at number 1. Misty says you always get number 1. Not this year. This is my first time I've gotten number 1 in a couple of years. So that is the board. Ted, how you feel at the churn? What do you think you're going to do at the churn? Stay on here and talk for a little bit with everybody since we're already an hour and 3 minutes into this one anyways. I got 2 hours left to prep for the next one, which will be to get everybody's logo switched over on here onto OBS, get all of the banners created for everybody so I can get them printed off and cut, and that's what I'll be doing for my next 2 hours, along with folding a load of laundry and getting another one started. Can we trade? You can trade picks, yes. This is a little bit different than it was for the Dynasty, though. You can't just go into OBS and trade, or into MFL and trade. You'll actually have to talk to me, and I will have to realign draft orders for those particular rounds if you're going to do it. So let me know. This is not a 3rd round reversal, Sean. This is a straight snake draft. This isn't going to be like we did with the Dynasty one, where everybody who was playing the Dynasty was a 3rd round reversal draft. This will be a full snake draft this year. No 3rd round reversals. All right, everybody. We're going to go ahead and close it out. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to what's on the board at 12. I have I have a pretty good idea of what you could do there with a combo. If you want, we can talk. Might be interesting if you would do it. Knowing that you're not going to have a picks coming back for you for quite a while. Yeah, I think I know what I would do at 12, and I think both players would probably be available there as well. So chat with me if you want. Rocky says Dak is going to go at 6. You know what? You're probably not wrong. Actually, with Kalunga being there, if Zeke is already gone by 6, more than likely he'll take Dak at 6. You're absolutely not wrong. Need an auction division? Yeah, Ross runs, if you all don't know, and I think I've mentioned it enough times, Ross runs the NCFF, which is a great fantasy football league that's out there that I play in. And, Ross and I are collabing this year on the QB54 Arm and Leg League as well. But his are done as auctions. And it's the only auction one that I'm in, the only one that I've ever done. It's taken me a couple of years and some help from a few people to figure out how to best play an auction draft, but it is severely fun, done in the manner that he does it. And Ross, I think I saw somewhere that auction starts for us on Tuesday. Is that correct? I was going to ask you later because now I got to get my head wrapped around that. I need some help. I lost a lot of wide receivers to graduation this year. I'm going to need some wide receiver help. It's a good thing there's a good wide receiver class this year. I might be spending my wad on one or two of them. Let me know when we start that, even if you have to send me a message offline. All right, y'all, we are an hour and 6.5 minutes into this. I will talk to Brandon about what we're going to do for the edit of this, for the post-edit of the show. This one will stay here. The other one will be a little bit cleaner over on YouTube probably, unless we decide to leave it. We will set the draft order as soon as we get done with this, and we will see you all at 10 o'clock a.m. East Coast time next Sunday, when we will do the South Atlantic live draft on MFL. We will see you all there.